times of peace and stability, discuss different behavioral interventions you're going to utilize next time you are faced with a specific inappropriate behavior. Be casual and low key. The idea is to give the child a script to follow during the next conflict. The other day, I witnessed a mother sitting in my waiting room telling her child to get off her phone, and the child kept saying 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, till the mother's patience ran thin, and she kind of just yanked the phone away from the child's hand. And the child grew angry and started getting, abusive, because she said that she was in the middle of responding to a very important query from a friend. Now, what do you think was the problem here? You see, the problem here was that the child didn't know how much time it would take for her mother to finally lose her patience, and what to really expect when the mother did lose it. Now, what the mother was recommended was that there is no point in persuading and threatening and coming up with different action plans on different days depending on what the mood of the mother was. So in the counseling session, the mother was asked to inform the child that the next time she wants the phone out of the child's hands, she would give the child 2 minutes, after which she would take away the phone. Now the child listened carefully, she nodded her head and was asked to repeat what her mother had said. She understood that this was happening next time. So when you give a child a script or an action plan that you will follow for the next time, and you actually do follow it, you're affecting the perception of who is really in control. When they don't follow your directions, you teach them what will happen ahead of time. That way, number one, you really are taking charge and assuming control. And number two, you do it at a time when there is no conflict. This is what you should say to the child. I don't like it when I have to keep telling you to get off the phone, and I'm sure you don't like it either. It just makes us both so edgy and frustrated and angry. In future, I'm going to ask you to get off the phone, and in 2 minutes, I'm going to start taking the phone away, or I'm going to unplug the phone. Now, if it's a younger child, you tell him that the next time there's a tantrum at a toy store, we are leaving. Even if I have to lift you and carry you out, that's what I will do. Now, this way, during a calm time, the child understands. When things are escalating, when all emotions are running high, and everybody's under stress, that's not the time that a child can really learn. That's not a time to actually try and facilitate learning. Parents are normally afraid to bring things up during calm times, thinking that there will be a fight. Remember, no speeches, no lectures, just matter-of-factly say what it's like for you and what you're going to do the next time. Technique number 4, no lectures. Now, there's a right way to tell your kid to do something, and there's a wrong way. There's an effective way to tell your kid to do something or to respond to something, and there's an ineffective way. What tends to happen with kids who act out behaviorally or who are disrespectful or rude is that parents try to justify themselves socially or morally, or as discussed earlier, they try get into explanations. Now, this normally stems from what we call magical thinking. And this magical thinking on the part of parents, wherein there is a small hope that maybe the child will understand. And therefore, the long lectures to get them to finally understand. Now, instead of saying, it's your responsibility to do your homework, so do it, Just the same way that it's our responsibility to fix your meals or to take care of your needs. That's it. Just say it's your responsibility, just do it. Now, if a kid debates back or tries to negotiate, then turn around and disengage. Walk away. Let us look at this example of a policeman who stops you if you're speeding. He stops you and says, "Sir, you cannot drive so fast." And then in all probability, you find after which he lets you go. He does not give you a lecture that the statistics show that if you drive slower, you can live longer. He finds you and walks away. He does not follow you home or keep talking to you and lecturing you till you are, finally out of earshot. Now, I'm not saying that these steps by you will not lead to the child's behavior escalating. In fact, it's bound to. As it's actually the opposite of the training that he has received from you so far. But don't worry. In the coach parenting program, we have a concept called managing triggers, and we can help you with effective trigger management. So in our next video, we will give you the remaining tips and techniques. You can share your views in the comment section below. You can also write in to us if you have any queries while practicing any of these techniques. Thank you.